In the sleepy town of Monroe sat a picturesque cabin, nestled amongst towering oaks and overlooking the serene lake. The inviting photos and rave reviews had drawn in a group of 6 friends looking for a weekend getaway. With laughter and light hearts, they settled into the elegant old home, unacquainted with its unshared history. In the bustle of unpacking, Dave, the unofficial leader of the group, stumbled upon a forgotten cell phone lodged between the plush couch cushions. It was a sleek model, no more than a year old. Curiosity piqued, he powered on the device, the screen illuminating a gallery icon with a notification. Gathering his friends, he navigated to the video album, revealing a series of time-stamped recordings from the night before their arrival. There was a certain thrill to watching these secret slices of life, the recordings of the home's previous guest. The first few videos were normal. Scenic shots of the Eden, the lake, and a jovial self-shot video of a man, presumably the phone's owner, grinning widely, introducing himself as Tom. As they continued to watch, the atmosphere shifted. The videos showed Tom becoming increasingly uneasy, frequently glancing over his shoulder, startled by the creaking of the house. He captured inexplicable phenomena, doors closing by themselves, lights flickering, eerie whispers lingering in the air. The friends exchanged uneasy glances but pressed on. The penultimate video showed Tom in a state of terror. In a shaky voice, he confessed, "Something's here with me. I can't see it, but I can feel it." The final video was chilling. It opened to a chaotic scene. Objects flying across rooms, echoing screams, doors slamming shut. Through the pandemonium, Tom's terror-stricken face came into view briefly, his eyes wide and pleading before the video ended abruptly. The timestamp indicated that this incident had occurred merely hours before their arrival. Silence filled the room, the images of Tom's fright etched into their minds. An uncanny fear spread through the group, tinging the previously cozy Eden with a sense of dread. Rationalizing, they decided it could be a prank or an elaborate joke, yet the gut-churning fear persisted. That night, sleep was elusive. Their dreams were invaded by visions of flying objects and unseen forces. The tranquility of the Eden had been replaced with an unsettling tension. On the second day, eerie incidents from the video began to occur. Faint whispers, self-closing doors, flickering lights. As the occurrences escalated, so did their fear. Each friend felt watched, stalked by an unseen entity. On the night of their departure, the terror reached its peak. Dinner was interrupted by an uproar similar to Tom's final video. Objects spiraling through the air, doors banging shut, an unseen force terrorizing them. Amidst the chaos, Dave mustered courage and shouted, "Stop! We mean no harm. Please, let us leave." To their surprise, the chaos ceased abruptly. They packed in haste, the once inviting home now a den of unseen terror. As they sped away, relief washed over them, leaving a chilling memory etched deep within. The police were informed, the cell phone handed over. Despite their experiences, no tangible evidence of an unseen entity was found. The Eden was vacated temporarily, and an investigation took place, but nothing concrete surfaced. The house was deemed safe, though the friends would forever disagree. Back home, they held each other a little closer, appreciative of the safety they had taken for granted. The scenic Monroe Eden was a beautiful facade hiding a chilling secret, an unseen entity lurking within. Their weekend getaway had become a nightmarish memory, a haunting reminder of the terrifying power of the unseen. They had experienced the same horror as the previous guest, Tom, becoming unwilling participants in a chilling sequel. The beautiful Eden by the lake had a new story to tell, one that wouldn't make it to the online listing. Harper and Noah, newlyweds and unabashed adventurers, had just checked into their stunning Eden nestled in the old town of Grayville. The Grand Manor was steeped in history and was a steal for the price they'd paid. Intrigued by the peculiar ancient charm of the house, they eagerly set about exploring their temporary home. As they traversed the house, Harper noticed a curious door at the end of the long hallway, its ancient wood contrasting with the renovated aesthetics of the rest of the house. It was locked, leaving Harper and Noah with a mystery they were itching to solve. Noah, a locksmith by profession, viewed this as an exciting challenge. Equipped with his tools, he worked on the antique lock, his fingers dancing with practiced ease. With a triumphant click, the door swung open, revealing a small, dimly lit room. The room was stark, save for the photographs that covered the walls from floor to ceiling. Rows of faces stared back at them, each photograph neatly labeled with names and dates. A realization dawned upon them: the faces were of previous Airbnb renters, judging from the recurring pattern of their brief stays. Among the sea of smiling faces, a chilling detail emerged. Accompanying the dates of their stays were another set of dates, ones that Harper and Noah found in the town's digital archives to be their disappearance dates. Unsettlingly, every tenant who'd stayed at the house had mysteriously vanished without a trace. Cold dread washed over them. They had stumbled upon a chilling secret, a room documenting an eerie pattern of disappearances linked to this house. The real horror dawned upon them. Their smiling faces could soon join this room of lost souls. Frantically, they contacted the local authorities and the Airbnb host, but their calls went unanswered. Panic gripped them. The familiar corners of their temporary abode now seemed ominous, the ornate decorations macabre. As they cowered in the central living room, night descended, bringing with it an unbearable tension. In the stillness of the night, they heard it, a low hum emanating from the hidden room. Venturing back out of necessity, they discovered the photographs were no longer just images. The room was alive with ethereal projections of the tenants, their apparitions reenacting their final moments in the house, moments of panic, fear, and futile attempts at escape. Harper and Noah watched in horrified fascination as each spectral replay reached its climax, the tenant's figure being dragged towards the room's only window by an unseen force before they vanished, leaving the room in a stifling silence. Desperate, Harper and Noah decided to escape before they met the same fate. However, their attempts were thwarted by the house. Windows wouldn't budge, doors wouldn't open, phones had no reception. The house, it seemed, was keen on keeping them for company. The couple, realizing their plight, clung to each other as the hours passed, the room's hum growing louder. As the spectral theater began replaying, Harper and Noah found their own apparitions among the crowd. Terror gripped them as they witnessed their spectral selves live out the day they just had, culminating in their discovery of the room. The sequence ended, the room fell silent, and Harper and Noah clung to each other in terrified anticipation of what was to come. The following morning, the local authorities found the manor eerily silent. A thorough search led them to the hidden room and its haunting wall of photographs, the last two faces being those of the missing couple Harper and Noah. The Airbnb was promptly closed, and an investigation ensued, revealing a long history of mysterious disappearances, all tied to the property. However, despite their efforts, Harper and Noah were never found. Their fates remained as enigmatic as the other faces on the wall, their smiling faces frozen in time in the room of lost faces. Adeline, a weary traveler, found herself entranced by a quaint Airbnb listing located in the sleepy town of Rivervale. The historic Victorian house boasted of modern amenities within its old-world charm. With a quick tap on her phone, she booked the place for a quiet, restorative weekend. On arrival, the house was just as charming as it was in the pictures. The evening sun bathed the house in a warm glow, and the idyllic surroundings were calming. Everything seemed perfect. Adeline unpacked, took a quick tour of the house, and settled into the inviting comforts of her temporary home. As darkness fell, she heard a soft knock on the front door. Opening it, she found a young man standing in the moonlight. He introduced himself as Oliver, claiming he'd booked the Airbnb for the weekend. He showed her his reservation on his phone, which surprisingly had the exact same booking dates as hers. With no host on the property and unable to reach Airbnb customer service, they decided to share the space, given its size. Oliver, who claimed to be a historian, seemed amiable and knowledgeable about Riverdale's local history. As the night wore on, Adeline noticed peculiar things about her unexpected housemate. Oliver wore outdated clothing, and his mannerisms and speech were curiously old-fashioned. His claims about local history were impressively detailed, as though he had lived through the events. The revelation came at midnight when a strange phenomenon began. A greenish glow enveloped Oliver. Adeline watched in horror as the walls of the house grew transparent, revealing glimpses of past events. And always, in every scene, there was Oliver. She watched him court a woman who once lived in the house, only to be tragically separated by her sudden death. Each scene painted a tale of a man lost in his grief, trapped by his inability to let go. It culminated in Oliver's own death within the house, heartbroken and alone. As the scenes faded, the house returned to normal. But Oliver, now visibly transparent, remained. His once kind eyes were now desperate, sorrowful. He confessed he was indeed a spirit, bound to the house, reliving his heartbreak each night. His bookings were merely his way of reaching out, a futile attempt at seeking human companionship. Fear coursed through Adeline. She was trapped in a house with a ghost, forced to share her refuge with a figure from the past. But as the night rolled on, she found herself sympathizing with Oliver's plight. She decided to help him find peace, freeing him from his torment. Over the next day, Adeline conducted research, seeking local lore and rituals that might aid Oliver's spirit to move on. She found an old folk remedy, a ritual designed to help trapped spirits let go of their earthly attachments. The ritual, performed at the stroke of midnight, seemed to work. Oliver's spectral glow intensified, his form wavering, and for a moment, he appeared genuinely at peace. The house shook as if acknowledging the passage of its long-time resident. As the final bell chimed, Oliver's apparition vanished, leaving behind an eerie quiet. Adeline breathed a sigh of relief. But as she looked around, she felt the house empty, the silence echoing her solitude. Her feelings were a bizarre mix of fear, relief, and an inexplicable sense of loss. In the morning, Adeline packed her things, her weekend retreat having become a haunting memory. As she left the house, she could not shake off the sensation of being watched. Yet, she felt a strange calm, as if Oliver's spirit, finally at peace, was bidding her a grateful farewell. The tale of her unexpected encounter remained her secret, a chilling reminder of the idyllic house in Riverdale, and its eternally repeating guest. As the clock ticks towards dawn, this is Midnight Callers signing off, reminding you, when darkness falls, the stories rise. Sleep tight, if you dare.